Good evening. I'm John Thrasher, President of Florida State University. Welcome graduates, families, friends to our fall commencement exercises. These are unusual circumstances that prevent us from being together, but we're united today in spirit. Tonight's ceremony, although unique, includes many of the traditional elements that make Florida State University's commencement special. I'd like to begin the ceremony with a video of Andrew Dixon, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Andrew is a veteran who served as a firefighter in the United States Air Force from 2009 to 2014. He is graduating today with a Bachelor of Science in Management. The Pledge of Allegiance will be followed by the singing of the national anthem.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. As president, graduation days are always my favorite days. Nothing fills me and my wife, Jean, with more joy than seeing students who we have come to know over the years cross the stage in their caps and gowns, having achieved their dreams of a Florida State University degree. I wish more than anything that we could be together for this ceremony. I said this in the spring and the summer, and I'll say it again today. The class of 2020 will go down in history as one that sacrificed so many of our cherished traditions so that we all may be safer. I hope you will look back upon this day with pride, knowing that you played a vital role in our response and eventual recovery. We talk a lot about resilience at Florida State University, but you have demonstrated your grit and determination since the day you arrived on campus. We've been through so much together, and I never had any doubt that you would, once again, rise to the occasion and finish strong. The future is uncertain, I know, but we're counting on you to go out into the world and solve some of society's toughest challenges. That's what Florida State has prepared you to do, and we need you now more than ever. But first, take some time to reflect on your remarkable achievement. I'd like to extend special congratulations to those graduating with honors in their majors and those who are graduating cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude. We also have 18 students who are graduating with a perfect 4-point graduation average for all of their college coursework. That's an impressive accomplishment. And I'd like to acknowledge the members of the Garnet and Gold Honor Society. These are scholars, these students are scholars who have demonstrated significant engagement in and beyond the classroom in service, leadership, internship, research, and international education. They'll receive special medallions in recognition of their accomplishments and achievements. Florida State University also distinguishes our graduating veterans, our active duty personnel, and graduates of our ROTC programs with special red, white, and blue honor cords in recognition of their service to our country. I'd like to also acknowledge Provost Sally McRorie and Dean of the Jim Moran College of Entrepreneurship, Susan Fiorito, who are with me on the stage, as well as all of our outstanding faculty. Our faculty ultimately is responsible for the content of the courses you have taken, the knowledge you have gained, and the experiences you have had at Florida State. Whether teaching remotely or face-to-face, our faculty have demonstrated their innovative and creative ability. It's our faculty who, through their commitment and vision, make and preserve this very, very special institution. Now it's my pleasure to ask Mr. Ed Burr, the chair of the Florida State University Board of Trustees, who has sent a video greeting.
Thank you, President Thrasher. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it's my honor and privilege to congratulate each of you on completing your course of studies and graduating from Florida State University. This is a unique ceremony and certainly a unique time and challenging time for both our university and our country. Never more has our country needed graduates and emerging leaders with the knowledge, skills, and values that you have learned at Florida State University. I am confident that each of you, as you enter your careers and go to your communities, will make our country a better place, a more compassionate place, and maybe even a kinder place. I'd also like to thank and congratulate our faculty and our administration on doing everything possible to make sure this day occurred. They quickly mobilized, moved our classes online without sacrificing quality and making sure everyone maintained the high standards at Florida State University. Graduates, thank your families, your friends, and your loved ones who helped you get here today. But today is your day. Be proud of yourselves. Do not let the uniqueness of this ceremony take away from your accomplishments. God bless you all, and go Noles.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Also joining us is our student body president, Mr. Jonathan Levin, who has a few words of welcome. I want to personally thank Jonathan for his leadership during this very difficult time. He has been an honor to work with, pleasure to work with. I wish him good luck and Godspeed on his next adventure as an Air Force officer in flight training.
Thank you, President Thrasher, and hello. My name is Jonathan Levin, and I have the honor of serving as this year's student body president. I would like to begin by thanking all of those who have joined us today to celebrate Florida State University's newest graduating class. To the families of our graduates, let me specifically say thank you. We look to you and thank you for your influence and direction, two gifts that have been invaluable throughout our collegiate careers. Throughout the past 4 years, and for the rest of our lives, we will hold on to your support and love deep in our hearts. To our graduates, congratulations. 2020 has not been an easy or typical year in our world. This semester alone was a whole new experience in and of itself. Turning living rooms into classrooms, designing masks to be fashionable, or finding a new definition for the collegiate experience, we here at Florida State have led our society in showing what it means to be resilient and unconquered. As we move into the next chapter of our life, I encourage you to take the lessons and skills you have accumulated through your journey. Recall the memories established in academic spaces, residence halls, fraternity and sorority houses, sports fields and courts, the circuit tent, some off-campus locations frequently visited, or maybe, just maybe, even the kissing bench on Landis. Regardless of where these memories were created, think back on what you learned. I would be remiss not to address that this very memory of graduation is certainly different than from what you expected. But besides the negatives, think. What positives have come out of this? I know for me personally, I've been able to recognize the aspects of life that have made true happiness. Whether that was disconnected from technology, going on road trips, or just spending more time and creating fond memories with many of my close friends and families. Do not let these times overshadow your experience here at Florida State University. I mentioned this story during the summer commencement ceremony as well, but find it so paramount at times when we question our why or our future. The story of a young queen who is being called upon to lead during a time when her people's lives were on the line. And during her time of decision making, her uncle reminded her that she had come into her royal position for such a time as this. So as you go into the world, seek leadership, stand strong in the face of adversity, and when it comes time to make hard and even scary decisions, I challenge you to cling to our values of Virus, Artis, and Morris, strengths, skill, and character. Be the shining light in a room full of darkness. Be the one to stand up for what's right, even when everyone else is sitting. And when you are in the position, never forget that you were perfectly placed, just like the queen from the story, for such a time as this. Seminole, this may feel like an end, but it is just the beginning. You and your families will always be welcomed. Yes, even if that means you end up marrying a gator. Whether this means serving on a university board, leading a Seminole club, attending sports games and singing the fight song with the marching chiefs, maybe even being thrown in the Westcott Fountain once more, or just proudly representing and wearing garnet and gold, you can always call FSU home. To the fall class of 2020, be bold, make change, and always remember that you are a Florida State Seminole. Congratulations, and go Noles.
Thank you, Jonathan. It's now my distinct pleasure, to welcome our commencement speaker, Meteorology Professor Sharon Nicholson from the FSU Department of Earth, Ocean, Atmospheric Science, is one of the world's top climatologists. Last spring, she was recognized by the FSU faculty members as the 2020-2021 Robert O. Lawton Distinguished Professor, the highest honor that the faculty bestows upon one of their own. Professor Nicholson studies dry climates, particularly in Africa, where she has changed the understanding of drought and rainfall. Her research has debunked previous hypotheses on the causes of drought and the expansion of deserts on the continent. Her groundbreaking work has received international attention, and she was recently awarded a Fulbright Global Scholar Award, as well as Germany's prestigious Humboldt Research Award, given to researchers whose fundamental discoveries have had a significant impact on their discipline. As a member of the Florida State University faculty for 35 years, Professor Nicholson has served as an advisor to more than 24 master's and doctoral students. She's been recognized for her mentorship and her efforts to promote diversity in the field of atmospheric sciences. We are so proud she is one of our own, and proud of her accomplishments and the prestige that she brings to Florida State University. Please join me in welcoming Professor Sharon Nicholson.
Thank you, President Thrasher, for your kind words. Thank you, students, faculty, and parents. It is a privilege and an honor to address the class of 2020 at this special moment in your lives. You are closing a major chapter of your life story. You have worked hard to get here, and hopefully played hard as well. For you, this trip may seem like it has taken an eternity. Your parents, though, are wondering where the years have gone. They are proud of you, but sadly recognize their job is done. This would be a most opportune time to ask for money. I have to say I approached this speech with a bit of trepidation. Last time I gave such a speech, it was my high school graduation, and I recall tripping in the mud on the way from the bleachers to the podium. Fortunately, this is a videotape, and such gaffes can be edited out. On a more serious note, for most of you, today represents a major transition. You are leaving behind friends, 4 years of a familiar routine, and if you are anything like my son, sleeping until noon. You are about to enter one of the most uncertain yet thrilling periods of your lives. You are crossing a threshold and stepping into the real world. And you will be well prepared. You have completed your studies amid a global pandemic and nationwide protest for social reform. You are prepared to meet the challenges that come, and I am confident that you will rise to the occasion. And note, the actions of every single one of you can play a role in shaping the future. Now, in pondering what to say today, I first thought that, as someone who was in your shoes exactly half a century ago, we would have nothing in common. What could I say to you that is relevant? Then I realized there are actually many parallels between 1970 and 2020. We were in the midst of the Vietnam War, our young people were dying in combat, and at home, protests were a way of life. We had not seen such social and political divisions since the Civil War. The civil rights movement was waning, only to give way to sometimes violent protest against the war. At such a protest, 4 students at Kent State were killed by the National Guard. A bombing at my university, Wisconsin, ravaged several buildings and killed a researcher. Civil rights, workers' rights, and gender equality were big issues. Well, now, once again, we're at war. This time against a deadly virus, with young and old dying. Social protests are erupting, with citizens clashing with the police and National Guard. There are calls for equality and diversity. The political and social divisions within the U.S. are once again vast. Now, I mention these parallels not to depress you, but to give you hope in this time of social strife. The Vietnam War ended, along with the draft, and in the meantime, tremendous strides have been made in technology, education, medicine, and science. The current situation too shall pass. The hardship of the pandemic and social unrest will pass, and society will be better for the lessons learned, and we will make gains towards equality and inclusiveness. One other parallel between 1970 and 2020 relates to the environment. As a climatologist, this is a special concern of mine. In 1970, the first Earth Day took place, marking the beginning of the environmental movement. As we recognize more and more the impact humans have had on the world, concern for the environment becomes increasingly important. For millions of years, the world had been controlled by biogeophysical processes, but now we're in a new geologic era, the Anthropocene. This is the age in which humans have played a major role in changing the atmosphere, the seas, and the soils. A few examples here will indicate the intensity of our impact. Since COVID-19 began, there has been a drop in the earth tremors measured by seismographs, a result mainly of decreased traffic and transportation. Our activities literally shake the earth. We use so much electricity that satellites 500 miles above the earth can see the lights at night of even tiny Big Bend communities, those as small as Wakulla or St. Mark's. The atmospheric content of the Earth's greenhouse gases remains stable over millions of years. Within a century or so, humans have increased carbon dioxide by 50% and increased methane almost threefold. The rate of atmospheric warming during the last century has been 10 times greater than natural warming at the end of the last ice age. New global temperature records are set each year. The polar ice caps are melting at an unprecedented rate, over 500 billion tons per year. We are also polluting the global oceans with 8 million tons of plastic each year and depleting the underground aquifers that sustain U.S. agriculture. This cannot continue. To quote Carl Sagan, "No other planet in the solar system is a suitable home for human beings. It's this world or nothing. There is no planet B." Again, I do not describe these unintentional consequences of human intervention to dispirit you, but to impress upon you the power that you have to play a positive role in preserving this unique planet. So I ask each of you, as you go forward, to remember the fragility of the earth and its environment and become a steward of the earth. Your actions impact your surroundings. Live responsibly and maintain sustainability by recycling, reusing, reducing your carbon footprint. Support policies that preserve the environment. Your individual contributions do matter. Famed anthropologist Margaret Mead said, "Never ever depend on governments or institutions to solve any major problems. All social change comes from the passion of individuals." You are all technology natives, born in a technological world. You are the generation that will use that technology to bring solutions to environmental concerns, global warming, conservation of natural resources, development of alternative energy strategies. The second thing I would like to ask is that you consider graduation as a simple rite of passage, a license to go forward, and not a roadmap to your future. Commit to the journey and not the outcome. You have worked hard, and today marks your success. Pat yourself on the back. You deserve it. But now, as you leave college behind, you can start with a blank slate and write your own story. This point was very fittingly made in a graduation speech by former President George W. Bush. He said, "To those of you who are graduating this afternoon with high honors, awards, and distinctions, I say, well done. And as I like to tell the C students, you too can be president." You now go out into the world, armed by a degree, but there is no curriculum, just a series of electives. Everyone graduated with a major, but do not be constrained by that. Be flexible, watch for opportunities, and seize them as they come by. Do not be afraid to take risks, and do not be afraid to start small. Stephen King started out as a janitor, Harrison Ford as a carpenter. Now, as you leave FSU behind, remember the good years here, but note that your best years lie ahead. You have the power to make them what you want them to be. Your life will evolve in unforeseen ways. You are full of complexities and talents that have yet to surface. Life's unpredictability will draw these out, and what defines you now is merely a pale preview of the vibrant person you will become over the next 5, 10, 50 years. Class of 2020, go forward. You are the future of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Nicholson, for those inspiring words. And now for the main event, the conferral of academic degrees. For the conferral of doctoral degrees, I recognize Dean Mark Riley from the Graduate School.
Will the candidates for the doctoral degrees please rise from your chairs at home? Mr. President, I have the honor on behalf of the graduate faculty of Florida State University to present the candidates for the doctoral degree.
Thank you, Dean Riley. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Florida Board of Governors and the Florida State University Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon each of you the appropriate doctoral degree for which you have qualified. We extend to you our heartiest congratulations. This is the time in our ceremony when we would normally ask you to come forward with your major professors and deans to be hooded. We hope that you'll be able to connect with those who have guided you on your academic journey in the near future to recreate this special moment. In the meantime, if you have your hoods at home, please ask a loved one to do the honors. And if you don't have your hoods, please feel free to improvise. Now for the conferral of master's degrees, I again recognize Dean Mark Riley from the Graduate School.
Will the candidates for the master's and specialist degrees please rise? Mr. President, I have the honor on behalf of the graduate faculty of Florida State University to present the candidates for the master's and specialist degrees.
Thank you, Dean Riley. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Florida Board of Governors and the Florida State University Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon each of you the appropriate degree for which you have qualified, whether the master's or the specialist. Thank you and congratulations. You may be seated. I now recognize Dr. Joe O'Shea, Dean of the Undergraduate Studies, for the conferral of bachelor's degrees.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degrees please rise? Mr. President, I have the honor on behalf of the faculty of Florida State University to present the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Music Education, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and Bachelor of Social Work.
Thank you, Dean O'Shea. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Florida Board of Governors and the Florida State University Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the appropriate degree for which you have qualified, whether the Bachelor of Arts, the Bachelor of Fine Arts, the Bachelor of Music, the Bachelor of Music Education, the Bachelor of Science, the Bachelor of Science in Nursing, or the Bachelor of Social Work. We extend to you our sincere congratulations. Graduates, if you're wearing your caps at home, you may now change the tassels from right to left. Congratulations to all of you. We are pleased now to welcome you as alumni of Florida State University. I want to remind each of you that you'll be a Florida State University Seminole forever. I also like to take a moment to recognize that for most graduates, this day would not have been possible without the assistance and support of parents, spouses, and other family members. Graduates, please take a few moments after this ceremony and thank the important people in your lives for all they have done to help you reach this important milestone. Now I'd like to ask everyone to rise for the singing of the Hymn to the Garnet and Gold. The words are on the screen, and we ask you to join from your home or wherever you may be watching. We ask you also to stay tuned after the hymn for the recessional, followed by a list of names of all of our fall graduates. Thank you for joining us for tonight's ceremony. God bless you, and go Noles.